on GJ. Made close to 100 and something pips on GJ this past week. 100 and something pips on GJ. So let's start with the weekly. So just by looking at how last week candle closed, we can tell the direction for, it looks bearish. I think they swept, they've not swept this liquidity. There has been several attempts to clear this liquidity. They've not swept it. They've not swept it. And since yen, we are bearish on yen. Okay, you see, and USJPY. Okay. Since we are bearish on yen, we should expect more buys on GBPJPY.
Yes, sir.
Should expect more buys since we are bearish on yen. So the previous week was a doji, and last week closed on an inverted hammer. So, and this high here, this is an area of liquidity. So the high of last week and the low of last week is an area of liquidity for this week. So if we're going for buys, then we should be aiming for this buy side liquidity, which is the previous high. Let's go down to daily. So you can see. So from this point to this point, GBPJPY has been in a range. It has been in a range. This would have been a difficult time for traders. It's been a difficult time for traders. If you're trading this pair, it's been ranging for some weeks now, about 2 months or 3 months. It's been in a range. But if you look at the move before the range, this was a massive rally. It was a massive rally, and the bearish momentum is still very weak, as you can see. Buyers are still dragging the price with sellers. The momentum is still very weak. So before price will drop on GJ, there's a high probability they're going to sweep this buy side liquidity. Very difficult for price to just drop from this point and just come fill these fair value gaps. I doubt. So there's a high probability that price would break out from these highs. There's a high probability. So looking for buys this coming week. So what do we have here on 4 hour? So price has pulled back. We had this range from this point. We apply our Fibonacci from this swing low to this swing high. That's price pulled back to discount at this point. We apply a Fibonacci from this swing low. Okay, from this swing high to this swing low, price pulled back to a premium area. As you can see, it pulled back to a premium area. You can see all these highs it created was used as liquidity. It was swept. You can see. So last week also it swept this liquidity, and there was a strong rejection from that area. So if you apply a Fibonacci, this has already played out. Price also pulled back again. If you apply it now, this would have been the recent low and the recent high. Price pulled back to the swing low, swept the liquidity residing at this previous low. We had a fair value gap here. It filled the gap and also swept the liquidity. And there was a strong rejection from there. So I would expect GJ to buy. But before GJ buys, I think, let's see what we have on 1 hour. So this low, I feel this low might be used as liquidity this coming week. Okay. They might use this low as liquidity, let's say 15 minutes. Might use that low as liquidity. Also, we have this, there's a tiny fair value gap here. So it will still sell. You can see this tiny fair value gap here. This is a trap. Many will not see this. So they are most likely going to come and fill this gap. And we also had this gap here. Okay, we had this gap here. You can see this gap that is created here. They've not filled it completely. There was an attempt to fill it at this point, but they didn't fill it completely. So I believe this is a trap. Most retail traders would have bought after the formation of these patterns here. Most retail traders would have bought, and their stop losses will be residing at this low. So if you want to buy on GBPJPY this coming week, ensure that this liquidity, there should be liquidity residing at this previous low, and they might also come to fill this favor lookup. These are the areas you should be considering buying. And at these zones, zigzag must be below 15 minutes candle. If zigzag does not appear below a 15 minutes candle, don't buy. Zigzag must appear below a bullish reversal pattern. That will be the best time to buy GJ. Okay, zigzag must be below a 15 minutes candle before you buy. And you can also check JPY to ensure that the pattern you see on JPY should be bearish reversal pattern before you buy. That would be a very strong confirmation. Check JPY, ensure JPY is bearish. The pattern there is bearish. If it is bearish, it means GBPJPY is set for buy.